YouTube friends and family, to today's edition of the Wellness Homesteader. So, I want to thank you all again, whether you're new or returning, first of all, for being here. Secondly, for all your well wishes. And I want to say that I am doing better with my back. I still have my moments. But what I already knew, but I'm kind of relearning, is once you hurt your back, especially if you have chronic back issues, it's the proper combination of rest and exercise. And as I'm sure you all are dealing with, summer's a really busy time for me. I do get tired of being cooped up in the winter. So I like to be outside as much as I can in the summer, but I have a very large garden. I always have animals to take care of, my chickens, but I usually am doing some repair or upkeep type projects. And then I have very large flower beds and areas that need to be weeded. I currently have not used any weed killer type products. I wouldn't in the back because it's by my food, it's by the animals, but I also don't use it in the front. As far as on my flower beds, I do have my front yard treated, in full honesty. It's just, it's not a healthy chemical that I want to be exposed to on a regular basis. So I've been doing a lot of work on flower beds and garden and, like I said, upkeep. So what are we going to do today? Yakety yakety yak. Well, first I'm going to lean over because I've been up for a few hours and I've already been out weeding, and y'all just excuse my hair in the front. So I mentioned on an earlier video, if you didn't catch that one, that I was thinking about letting my hair just go silver. Well, guess what I've learned? There are only spots of my hair that are silver. So I have some in the front and some right here, and the rest of my hair is hair colored, and it might not be quite as blonde as what I color it, because if you've ever noticed, I have areas on the underneath that are a little bit darker. So I'm starting to look a bit like an alley cat. And I'm just going to tell you, I'm probably going to wait until I am more silver so that it isn't so weird. I think that's the best way to say it. So at any rate, what are we going to do today? Well, I have a couple plans. I'm not sure if this video will be filmed just over today. Depends on how my back holds out. It is 7:30, and I've already done one round of weeding in the front and taken care of the chickens and watered the garden. And I would like to open my summer kitchen. So my summer kitchen is not fancy, y'all. A lot of people have those beautiful built-in ones. Yeah, mine's not. But it really helps me out, especially for canning, so that I'm not putting all that heat in the house. I have a 3-burner camp stove. I'll review that with you a little bit later on. But I was kind of perusing my food, and I decided I want to make 2 things today. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to make some banana blueberry bread. So what I have here is 3 overly ripe bananas, purposely over-ripened. I will buy my bananas and just let them sit. I buy 3 at a time because that's generally what a banana bread recipe calls for. Now, I've shared before, I have early diabetes, so I do not like consuming a lot of sweets. So I have been trying to learn, and I know you guys know how to mash bananas, but I'm trying to, don't want that string, learn how to cook things using sugar substitute, or just maybe use fruit to sweeten it, or cut back even the amount of sweetener. And what I've discovered is I am not nearly as into sweets as I once was. That was always my favorite food, just saying. So you can buy books from the American Diabetes Association, or whatever country you're in usually has a diabetes association. But what I find is a few principles of exchange. You can take any regular recipe that you enjoy and alter it to meet your specific needs. Now, this particular recipe, I'm going to be using Splenda brown sugar, and I will tell you ahead of time, it is not sugar-free, so you have to make that decision between you and your healthcare provider, whether this is a recipe you would want to consume. Bananas also contain a lot of natural sugar, and this also has blueberries in it. So we are making banana blueberry bread. Did I say that? I'm not sure if I even said that. So I really like a gentleman, and I just have the pan out of my Zoji Rushi. His name is The Bread Dad, and I will leave a link below. But I'll tell you one of the reasons why I really like him. Almost all of his recipes, I'm gonna put these 3 smashed bananas in first, have 5-star rating from people who have tried them. I have made, even on this channel, if you look at my bread playlist, and it's huge, and guys, not all my bread playlist is sugar-free because I did not find out until last fall that I had a problem with my sugar. Anyway, he has a link when he has a bread machine recipe where you can click on it and it tells you like 50 different types of bread machine, what settings you need to use. So for the Zoji Rushi, it says cake. Now, one advantage of using the bread machine, you're not heating your house up. Pardon me, house up like you would be if you're using your oven. However, if your bread does not get done, you can always pop this whole thing in the oven. There's nothing plastic on it, so that's helpful. All right, to our 3 smashed bananas, we are going to add 1 stick or 8 tablespoons of melted butter. He didn't specify salted or unsalted. What I happen to have thawed right now is salted, so that's what we're going to use. So let's get all the goodness out of that. And then, and you always, in a bread machine, you always put your liquids in the bottom if you're new to bread machine baking. I'm sorry, guys, something just flew by. I guess that was a fuzzy. Sorry about that. So we're going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. And let's see. So you want to put all your liquids in the bottom, and the bananas, because they're smashed, are considered a liquid. And 2 eggs beaten. So let me tell y'all, Miss Jolene, she is laying. She has laid 2 eggs. So when a chicken goes through a trauma, often they will not lay for a long period of time. I was honestly concerned that she would never lay again. You want to beat these up a little bit. But I love her, and I just have been trying to give her supportive care with electrolytes and vitamins. And a few days ago, her tail came up, and because her tail was down and her shoulders were up, and she started running around acting like a crazy woman, like she always did. Jolene's always been a little bit mischievous, but she's very sweet. All right, so we got our 2 eggs. Dump that in. So I think she's gonna be fine. If you remember, I had mentioned about her eye. Sorry, country slips out every once and again. She can catch worms as good as her sisters, because when I'm right out there, I will let them out for short periods. We're gonna try it today again. But she will take her little foot and go like this, almost not so much like it itches, but like she's trying to clear away a film. And it's a little droopy, so she's kind of winking at us, but I can call her name and she will look, you know, even on her right, she will look at me that way. So her hearing is fine. And I just hope her eye over time heals. It's been, gosh, has it been 4 weeks now? It's been a bit, and I have not seen the fox back, except for the initial time and the second time. Does not mean it's gone. Just saying that. Okay, let's cook, Kym. So we need, oh no, do I have enough? Oh yeah, I think I do. We need a cup of brown sugar. I'm gonna use the Splenda brown sugar. So if you've never used, I'm so sorry, Splenda brown sugar, It is, I think it's half the calories of sugar. It's a mix of Splenda sweetener and brown sugar. So it does have some molasses, etc. So what I can say to you is always, look at the diet that your healthcare professional gave me. I have not been given a super restrictive diet as far as eat this, don't eat that. But of course, any pure sugar, they're going to discourage large amounts of fruit or, quick acting carbs. All of those things have a tendency for me to raise my blood sugar. So I am trying to behave myself. I need to get my little Ninja Foodie dessert maker back out because it's starting to warm up here in June, and I want to be sure that I have some good treats that I enjoy. So we'll put in our cup of brown sugar. I'm just going to kind of spread it around. If you're using either type, it says packed. All right, 2 cups of regular all-purpose flour. And you could absolutely grind your own grain. Am I doing that this morning? Why, no, I'm not. I'm just not of the mindset today to do that. So let's get this in. And I'm using half cup measures in case you're wondering why I'm putting in 4. Oh, sorry guys, I forget some of you listen with headphones and that hurts your ears, and my apologies. I don't do that on purpose. Okay, we need half of a teaspoon of salt. I am going to make it a little bit scant just because my butter was salted. I'm using red one real salt. That's just what I grabbed. You don't have to worry about putting it in the corners because this is a sweet bread or a quick bread, not a yeast bread. And let's see, 1 teaspoon each of baking soda and baking powder. So let's get that in. So again, I will leave a link to this particular recipe. It doesn't have a print button. So what I ended up doing is just writing it out because I think I will use this again. I love blueberry banana bread. And I think I've shared before, not a good fruit eater. So probably a good thing that I occasionally at least get some fruit. I do like strawberries though. And my strawberries, I've had 2 pretty good sized batches, and I will have another one yet this week. All right. Now the last ingredient is 1 cup of frozen blueberries, but you don't want to add that, according to Bread Dad, until after the first knead cycle. So on the Zojirushi, I think it's called a Virtuoso. It's a PDC 20. It will beep and tell you to go ahead and add, and it beeps for a long time. So we've got everything in here. You could add some cinnamon, nutmeg, whatever you like. I don't want to do that with blueberries. I'm going to pop it into the machine. And then this is going to be a little bit longer video, guys, because I'm not doing as many per week. I want to sit down and I want to share, first of all, a very good cookbook that I found because I needed another one. And I also want to share a product that I won't tout as a health product, but it's something if you cannot drink sweetened drinks and you're tired of water or plain iced tea, that you might be interested in. All right, guys, stay tuned. Oh, I'm gonna put this in on, for my machine, it's 13 cake, and push the start button. All right, y'all, I'm sitting here at my kitchen table, and yes, I am working on another fun hole build. This is my 10th or 11th build, and I had to kind of take a pause on this. What it is it is a camper that goes with the campground and the farm store that I've built. So I'm slowly working my way through. Right now, they're celebrating their 2-year anniversary, And so if you took a picture of your build lit and unlit, some of them I light, some of them I don't, depends on how complex it is. Both on Facebook and Instagram, they will send you a free little kit. So I've posted that if you're actually following me on either one of those. And y'all, I never mind. Y'all know my name. If you want to send me a friend request on either, of course I will accept. Just let me know you watch me on YouTube so that I'll know it's not just like some random scammer. So, oh, y'all, I do not like the silver. Okay, so I watch a lot of YouTube, y'all. And one of the channels that I very much enjoy is J. Morrell Stewart. Now, she has 9 kids that range in age from adult down to, I'll say, 3 or 4. I'm not real up on all of her kids. I like her content because it's clean. She homesteads, and some things have changed with her over the last, let's say, year, and I'm not going to get into her personal life, but one of the things that she's done is she has lost 60 pounds, and she looks amazing. Not jealous, but I admire that about her, and she has shared so openly what she's done. So I will link this in the description box if you have interest. It is the Trim Healthy Mama or Trim Healthy Starter Book. It's got 50 recipes, but it talks about the plan. So there's basically different types of meals where they are higher in fat and protein or higher in carbs. It's a whole system. But what I can tell you is a lot of the recipes are definitely, for me, on my particular eating plan, diabetes friendly. So one of the things I have never made, y'all, is egg roll in a bowl. So we are going to make that today because I have a cabbage I need to use. I didn't grow it, but it's a beautiful cabbage and I don't want it to go to waste. I've thawed out some chicken, some ground chicken. You can use ground beef as well. So we'll get to that once we get the kitchen set up outside. Hopefully that'll be today. So I do highly recommend both her channel as well as the Trim Healthy Mama method. It sounds complicated because she'll be talking about S meals and E meals, and it's very, very simple. You need the book. And I held off on buying the book because she also cooks recipes from this book on her channel, but she does it in such volume. I might be a little ADD. I have trouble following it, and I'm like, I need the book. And y'all know I love cookbooks, right? So the product I wanted to share with you, and y'all, drop me a comment below. My channel will probably never change dramatically, like, you know, I'm not going to be traveling the world or become a makeup influencer or hair color influencer, just saying. But I like to share finds that I really like. So I had done a little review of some Walmart pajamas that I had purchased, and I purchase a lot of things off of Amazon. Y'all know I don't live near any major stores. Like Walmart's about as good as it gets, and that's a 40-minute round trip for me. So I do purchase a lot from Amazon. So I may have a short video and just talk about June Amazon Best Buys, because I've purchased a couple things that I really like and I would like to share with you. You're never under any obligation to buy anything that you don't need. I'll share my opinion of it, good or bad, recommend, don't recommend, but I love those kind of videos, so I may add some of that in there as well. So my son, God bless him, that poor kid has worried himself sick over me, and I'm like, I'm fine. But he called me like every day for a week, and finally I'm like, stop calling me. I'm fine. But no, I definitely appreciated it, and I didn't tell him to stop calling. He was telling me about Jordan's skinny syrups, and he was like, Mom, as much as you, I don't like carbonated beverages very much. I have tried literally everything. I don't drink soda, but a rare occasion, you know, maybe with a pizza or something, diet soda. I do not like carbonated water. It's just not my thing. And so these syrups are 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 carbs. But I will tell you, they're colored, so they have a dye to them, and they do have some artificial flavorings in them. But I ordered these two. This one is the mermaid, and I'm like, wonder what a mermaid tastes like. But it's kind of like a pina colada flavor, like a pineapple-y coconut. It's very tropical. It had a description, tropical citrus mermaid. I really like it. It doesn't take much, and you just put it in plain water. You could put it in fizzy water if that's what you like. I just don't particularly like that. My favorite is the unicorn dreams. What am I, 12? Sweet and sour blue raspberry frosting, unicorn flavor. So I've enjoyed these so much because I do sometimes just want plain water, and then sometimes I get pretty tired of it. I do like the circle cartridges, but they're pricey, guys. As much liquid as I drink, at Walmart they're $3.74 a cartridge, and I'm lucky if I can get 2 days out of one. So this is a little more economical, you know, to alternate water with something flavored. So they have, I don't care for lemonade at all, but they have lemonade, strawberry lemonade. I've ordered a peach, a sour blue raspberry, and one other, I think a cherry or a berry of some sort. They have so many flavors. The only place I've been able to find them, and you gotta realize I live in Mayberryville, is on Amazon. I'm sure like there are other stores that carry it. I've never seen it at Walmart either. I had used their coffee syrups before, but I don't like sweet coffee unless it's iced coffee, and I only drink iced coffee in the summer. So they have every flavor you would want. I have 5 kinds of that, you know, kind of sitting in reserve. I usually buy in bulk. So this is a good product from a diabetes standpoint, or a decreasing your sugar, or a weight loss standpoint. I just, in full disclosure, want to tell you that it does have water, citric acid, natural and artificial flavors, sucralose, xanthan gum, sodium benzoate, potassium sorbate as a freshener, and it has blue and yellow food coloring in it. So if that's not something you want to consume, these probably aren't good options for you. But they're very, very tasty, I will tell you that. So I did turn on the bread machine. I've never used the cake setting on the Zojirushi before, and it popped up 16 minutes. So I'm assuming that's when it will beep. Sorry guys, I'm fighting the hiccups. Hello, Frankie. And Frankie's been like so clingy. Mama, why are you laying down so much? He brings me his favorite toys. And so like this morning I've already had like a hamburger, a taco, toy. I forget what else he brought me, a shrimp, I think. You know, he's like, I keep you all the favorite, but you can't have my meow corn. So bless his little heart. And he's already getting hot. He's starting to shed his coat, thankfully. We've had kind of weird weather here, but it's going to be in the upper 80s or mid to upper 80s today and tomorrow. Tomorrow it's supposed to rain, and then it's going to cool off for the weekend, which is going to be really nice. It's kind of hard to work in the full sun in the garden except early mornings or late evening because of the direct sun and the heat, and I sunburn. So I hear my bread machine. I'm gonna go add those blueberries, and I'll bring you back in just a little bit.
Hey girlies, who wants to get out and play? Alrighty, come on girlies, let's go. Come on Fancy Ray. Come on Violet. Come on Miss Jolene, show them how good you're doing. Yeah, that's my girlies. So the little babies are not so little anymore, and probably next week, I don't know how well y'all can see, they're getting big. So they've been in this coop with the other girls, but yet separated. So we'll see how they do together. I will definitely be watching them. Okay, girls, where's your sissy already? They love to go over there and dig. Excuse some of my yard, y'all. It's okay, Jolene. You can go play.
All right, y'all, well, I am getting ready to go ahead and wash down everything. So this is my Cuisinart sink, and I'm going to wash everything. Then I'm going to use Thieves multi-purpose disinfecting spray. Spray everything down after I've rinsed it and just let it set a little bit, and then we'll dry it off. Over here, I have my 3-burner propane stove, and of course table and chairs. Guys, I bought a very inexpensive like Walmart vinyl tablecloth that I absolutely hate. So I've ordered a different one, so we'll see how that comes. So I'm gonna get to cleaning. Once I've got everything all cleaned up, I'm gonna go out in the garden for a little bit so the girls can run. I get very nervous when they're out, but I also don't want to just keep them locked up all the time. The likelihood that the fox would come with me out here talking and it being broad daylight's pretty low. He has always come from the back, so I think I would see him. So I just keep a really sharp eye out on the girls. I will not let them go back and play on the wood chip pile because I just feel like he could jump over and grab one of them. So I still have a little bit of PTSD from that, but the girls are doing better with not being able to be out. It's supposed to rain all day tomorrow, so I figured today would be a good day to let them out. Can't get used to seeing that on the top of my head, y'all. All right, I'm gonna get to clean it, and then maybe we'll pop out in the garden for a minute and I'll show you a couple things. Okay, everything down to the rug, and I have loved this Walmart rug. This is my 2nd year on it. It is losing, if you can see the little blue pieces, it's losing a little bit of fiber, but for as inexpensive as a plastic rug was, this has been super practical. I've washed the stove, I've washed the table, I have the sink all cleaned up, and I did not share, I have this Cuisinart large cooler. This is really nice on days where I'm cooking multiple dishes and I want to bring the ingredients out. You can put ice in it or just keep, you know, the bugs from getting in it for sure. So, hello ladies. So let me show you something I just discovered. So back here in the back, I have a raspberry bush, and my plan was to move it to this corner. However, y'all, it has gotten humongous. So the girls have each had several raspberries. And if you're wondering what this pile of dirt is, this is good coop manure that will go in the garden. That it is loaded with raspberries, and it's grown clear out to here. So I have 3 lilies and a hosta, but there are some other things that have popped up in here. So this is an area I definitely need to clean out, but I'm gonna have all the raspberries I could possibly want. And this is only its 2nd year, and it was a tiny little thing in a pot. I know we just did a garden tour, but after a good weeding, I don't know if y'all can tell, it's been 3 days. I cannot believe, and I still have things in the pathway that need to come out. My cucumbers are blooming like crazy. This has gone to, ouch, seed. And I misspoke. These are not radishes, they're turnips. I checked them yesterday. They're not big enough yet. So this is kohlrabi and another root vegetable. And I got hardly any beets. But, you know, live and learn. It's my first time growing them in many years. And I've got some peppers that look great and some that don't. But I've been feeding them heavily. And I can't believe, y'all, how big the corn is. So now I realize I'm standing on the ground and it's in a raised bed, but it's up to my waist. So the corn is way far ahead of what it, sorry about my hand, it usually is at this time. My beans have popped up. Everything is just looking so good. So I gotta keep an eye out for those girly girls. I thought I might weed, but ouch. I don't wear shoes outdoors, guys. Okay, where did they go? It's hard to keep track of 3 chickens, just saying. But I think I might just sit in my chair over here and relax for a little bit. Our bread has about 25 minutes left, so I'm keeping an eye on it. I'm not sure it's gonna get completely done. I may have to finish it off in the oven. But first, let's go find those chickens.
What you girlies doing?
Lilies are still pretty. You know, I find if I stay up here, they kind of like to be up next to me, but I just don't want them coming on the deck and pooping. So I'm also very glad they've accepted Violet and they let her run around with her, because Marigold, who was killed by the fox, was...
What you doing, girly?
Oh, here comes Violet. She said, excuse me, I had to lay an egg. That was her buddy, so she really moped for a while. Guys, maiden voyage of the outdoor kitchen. So here I have my camp stove, propane-powered camp stove, and I can link it below if you have interest. I'm not sure if it's still available, but so nice. And one of the things I love about the cookbook is its spiral. So the first thing you need to do is, let's see, brown the meat. So I decided to use lean ground chicken. You could use beef, you could use pork, you could use whatever your family prefers. I did not think I would like ground chicken. I'm not a fan of turkey, y'all probably remember that. But I do like the ground chicken. So I'm just kind of chopping it up here. I did not put anything in the skillet. It's a well-seasoned skillet. Sorry for all the chopping noises. And I apologize, the girls are balking. They had a blast, but a little while ago, I mean, they literally were throwing an let me turn this up just a touch. They were throwing a fit, scared me to death. I go blasting out there. It was a cat. So there's a little female black cat that belongs, she's a stray. She's fairly feral, if that's a fair thing to say. She has been spayed because they do TNR here in town. We have a very large feral cat population. It's kind of a problem here in Cedarville. Turn this down just a little bit. Y'all, it's hot out here. It is. It says 76, but it feels like 86. One nice thing, I do have an umbrella that I can put up. And I did wash out my Cuisinart cooler, but no longer than this is going to take. I don't have things in there. I don't think it's going to be a problem. I tried to pre-chop everything I could. So what is the theory behind egg roll in a bowl? I've seen this on a million channels, but it's avoiding the carb-rich egg roll skin. Is it called a skin? The wrapper that is generally deep fried. And you can air fry them too, but you're getting a lot of maybe oils that you don't want to get if you're purchasing them from, say, a restaurant or whatever. I'm not real crazy about the skin part. I love the cabbage. So when I was a kid growing up, my mom, who was an amazing cook, amazing, one of my favorite meals, and it's so simple, y'all, she would do fried onions and cabbage, sometimes with some fried potatoes. You could mix it all together, and cornbread. And my mom made bitter cornbread, so with white cornmeal and no sugar, so it was very, very good. So it's very budget friendly. Like I said, you could use any meat that you want. Now, when you cook from this cookbook, they're going to tell you to wash your meat, rinse your meat to get all the oil off. I'm not going to do that. That just kind of, not going to do that. So, what did I do with my spatula? Okay, so let's see how this is looking. Okay, it's starting to cook up. A couple of the things that I've noticed about my 3-burner stove is when it's extremely windy, even though it has the built-up sides, sometimes there's a little bit of an issue. Whoa. Why are we flaming out the side here? Should not be. Oh, Lordy. I'm not sure. I must have dripped some chicken fat in there. You know, you almost need to put a block up because it will blow out the burner. Yeah, it's doing fine now. So I'm going to turn it up just a little bit because I'd like to get a little bit of color on this meat. I know the chicken looks pretty anemic. The other thing is I don't have a really great place for a spoon rest. So those are just a couple things that I want to kind of work on this summer. I can't, you know, I am retired, I'm on Social Security, so I have to stay within my budget. So usually every summer I will do a few needed big projects. So this year it was the mailbox, the microwave, and the chicken coop, which I had planned to put the floor in anyway. I had not planned on the addition, but I don't know why that keeps blowing out like that. It might need tightened. Anyway, so I have to be, you know, a little bit aware of how much I'm spending, how much things cost. And my son, God love him, you know, he's had just one thing after another thing after another thing. But that's the way it is, you know, when you get a new home. So he is still waiting on the carpet. So he has not, he's sleeping on a air mattress. And, you know, he's not totally unpacked like you would want to be, because he wants the carpet to be down. And I really understand that. The kitchen is fully functional, but yesterday his microwave went, so, you know, that's, I was like, welcome to the money pit, son. And I gotta figure out why that's doing that, because it shouldn't be. Okay. A little confused about why flame is coming out the side, but I'll just keep an eye on it. So I have a few more things that I want to do that aren't horribly expensive. Okay. Y'all, I'm gonna switch over and try lighting the middle burner and see. I don't know if maybe the burner is a bit loose. That could possibly be. Okay, well, got her lit. Oh, wrong way. Why won't you turn off? Now you did. All right. Yes. It may be that I got a little water in the burner because the ring wasn't fully all the way around. But anyway, I do have a few more things that I want to do this summer. Some things that I want to share with you on a video, you know, just some June best buys from Amazon, what I liked, what I didn't like. I have a few things to share with you, so I'm not going to spoil the effect, so you'll have to wait and see what that is. So let me get this fried up. I'm going to have to drain it, and because it's got a lot of water and maybe a little fat on it that I want to get off of there. Yeah, this burner's working much better. This one must be loose. It's always something, y'all. The girls seem really happy. They enjoyed their running around, and they got very upset when the cat came in the yard. And I'm like, girls, this is a cat, not a fox. But I'm glad that they let me know that there's an intruder. And the kitty's so low to the ground and so small, the camera did not pick it up, or I didn't catch the notification. All right, guys, let me let this cook, and I'll bring you back for next steps. So this burner is working much better, so I'll have to sort out what's wrong with that one. I am going to add, while our chicken is still cooking, some freshly ground black pepper, and then just a tiny bit of salt, like less than half a teaspoon at this point, because I want to add a little bit more when we put the cabbage on. So let me share with you a little bit about the bread, and I will show it to you before we close this video. It's delicious. I took half of it up to my local pharmacy. I am forever indebted to them. They helped me so much with my mother's medications, which, you know, was kind of a challenge, you know. So I always, when I make bread, they're so appreciative. I always try to take them half. And then I don't, you know, have too much Kym because I eat too much bread. So it really came out nice. This is what I can tell you. It was not done at all when it finished up. So I preheated my oven to 350. I put it in there for 10 minutes. It's perfect. And I did slice the loaf in half to make sure it was done all the way through. But in the zojirushi, it still looked gummy on the top. So I'm quite sure that it wasn't ready. So we're getting close here on our chicken. I was hoping it would get a little more color than this. But again, you could use ground beef, half ground pork, whatever your family prefers. Ground beef is so expensive, and you know, Aldi has such a great selection of the hormone and antibiotic-free chicken. That's usually what I go for. Okay, we're starting to pick up a little color. So the next thing that it says to do is turn the heat up to medium-high and add onion and sesame oil. Now it calls for 1 to 2 tablespoons of sesame oil. And you could use any oil, but let me tell you all, this makes a huge difference. Don't go cray-cray with it because it can, oh, I didn't bring a spoon. Okay, well, we'll eyeball it. And I'm gonna do 2. And then I sliced up 1 pretty large onion because I do like the onion. So let's get that in there. I shouldn't have let it mix so much with the cabbage, but that'll be all right. So you could use a yellow onion, a white onion, a Vidalia, whatever your personal preference is. Oh, that smells really, really good, y'all. Yeah, now we're starting to get a little color on our chicken. And honestly, I did not have to drain it at all. So let me let that hang out for a minute and we'll get to the next step. It says to do this in a small bowl. I'm not dirtying another bowl. So you can add 3 to 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, or I'm going to use liquid aminos. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to add a teaspoon of ground ginger, or you could use fresh. I don't have any fresh, and I'm just going to be careful to sprinkle it so it doesn't, you know, all end up in one area. We'll stir it well. And then the final thing is 1 to 2 cloves of minced garlic. Just 1, 2. So I'm going to give that a stir. I get the garlic off my leg. Y'all, it smells amazing. Now you can also add red pepper flake. I have some Asian seasoning I'm going to sprinkle on mine. And then you want to go ahead and dump in half a head of cabbage. So it's going to look like a whole bunch or like it's not going to fit, but trust me, it will, and it will wilt down. A little for the deck, a little for the birds. So I turn this down to low. I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on it and let it wilt down. We'll come back. We'll add some sliced green onion on the top, a little bit of Asian seasoning, and we'll give it a taste test. Couple thoughts, y'all. One of the things that I can do to make it a little easier with the running back and forth is with having the Cuisinart cooler. I can actually wheel it up in front of my back door, load it up with all the things, bring them out. And I didn't mention the sink actually hooks up to a garden hose and then just drains out, has a hose that it drains out. So it's really nice to do dishes as well. For as little as I used for this, I'll probably do them indoors. So here's what we're looking like. I still would like to see my cabbage a little bit more wilted. I did add a sprinkle more of salt, but it smells like heaven out here. So the seasoning that I plan to add, oh, and it also helps y'all, don't judge there's food on it. I bought these at a vintage, no, I bought them at Goodwill for $2.99 because the sticker's still on the back. It's been washed many times, but you know how Goodwill stickers are. Probably 1970s, just judging by the wood grain. Could be late 60s. The Bamboo Chef Asian Cuisine, gluten-free, low sodium, no MSG Asian seasoning. I do find uses for it, and I do like it. I like that it doesn't add a lot of salt. So I'm gonna get it unclogged here. Whew, that was loud. Okay, well, I'm gonna get it unclogged and then I'm gonna sprinkle some on. All right, stay tuned for a taste of that. So the last touch, I did get the seasoning on, is I just have 3 green onions. This is certainly optional. But one of the things that I have found in changing my diet is I like a lot of flavor. So making sure that your food is well seasoned really helps me not to feel deprived. And I don't look deprived, do I? Oh, y'all, when your back hurts, you can't hold your gut in as well. All right. So let me do a scoop up here in a bowl. It looks absolutely delicious. I mean, you could certainly add more liquid aminos or whatsoever, you know, to taste. I'm not trying to see how much sodium I can consume, even though that is lower in sodium. Ooh, don't drop that. All right. Whew. It's hot out here, y'all. So this is what it looks like in the bowl. It smells so good. I can really smell the ginger. Whew. Oh, wow. Definitely has that Asian flavor. Now, that Asian seasoning I shared with you, it's spicy, but I like spicy. Cabbage is just a little bit tender, but still has enough crunch to it. This is such a quick and easy meal, not expensive, excuse me for sweating. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I know it's been a little longer than normal. As I mentioned, I'm going to be taking a trip, so I'm not going to tell you when, but I'm trying to get a little bit ahead on my videos, and I thought it might be nice just to do a longer video today and, you know, kind of mix it up with, I try to keep them around 20 minutes, but sometimes I get talking and they get really long. So drop me a comment below. Would you try egg roll in a bowl? I can see also like little julienne carrots in this would be really good too. You could probably even use a coleslaw mix, you know, that you can buy in the bag. Very, very good. All right, guys, I will see you all very soon. Not sure what day, but coming up here. But until then, be well, be healthy, be blessed, and don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Take care.